The man accused of shooting and killing a local police officer and her friend appears in court this time with extra security measures following an outburst last week.
No, Your Honor. Nothing, thank you.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you get notified. You don't want to miss out on the videos. Make sure you leave comments. I think this is going to be a good one where people are going to want to comment. You know, I got a guy on here that, you know, was accused of killing a cop, but you know what, man, the police don't always tell the story how it really is. So I'm going to introduce Andrew, who ended up doing a bunch of time in prison in Wisconsin. Andrew, tell the people who you are, man. Tell them where you're from and talk a little bit about your situation, how you ended up in prison, bro.
Well, I'm originally from Pennsylvania. My first name's Andrew, last name's Wirth. I moved to Wisconsin for a job. I was paid 10 grand, given a 2-year contract. I was confined space welder. So I figured, you know, I'm 22 years old. You give me a job making 100, 120 grand a year. Why not move out to the Midwest, right? So I go out there. Immediately, I put a gun in my name. I register a gun to my name. I'm not a felon, never been arrested. So why wouldn't I register a gun to my name? I believe in the right to bear arms, right? So when you do this, you never actually think, hey, am I really going to use this? You really don't know if you're ever going to be put in that situation. But you do get a gun just in case you're put in a bad situation when you ain't from there. So for me, I moved up there. I grew up on motorcycles my whole life, dirt bikes, crotch rockets, and up there, it's big Harley Davidson scene. I'm gonna be honest with you. So you got a lot of different clubs up there. So you got a new guy like me that's young, loves motorcycles. I kind of just fell into into the biker life. I didn't look for it. I was going to bars, didn't even know what bars I was in, and I honestly just fell into it. So that's what I believe led to a lot of my case. My case starts off where I go into a bar and I'm sexually assaulted by a woman. All right. I didn't know this woman's a cop. I had no clue. But to me, it's don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. I don't know you. You have no right to sexually assault me, because if this was a guy going up grabbing a woman that way, you'd be arrested for this. Right. So all I did was literally tell her, don't fucking touch me. So to me, I thought this was done. She leaves the bar. There's a bunch of people in there cursing. I try to leave, still go. And then she walks out the bar. I think everything's good. Right. Nah, hell no. Couple seconds later, I turned around to try to order a drink, and then someone grabbed me by the shoulder and told me to go outside. So that's what led to the fatal shooting of 2 people, and one actually was an off-duty cop.
So who grabs you by the shoulder? Was it her dude? Was it just a regular dude?
It ended up being her boyfriend, a really big dude. I don't know, maybe 260, 270, about 6'3". I'm 24 at this time. This dude's got to be in his 40s. You know, I see some dude. And what got me was this place is crowded. There's a band there, right? So some guys ask him something, or like, you know, do you have an issue? There's like 6 or 7 people, maybe 5 or 6. There's a bunch of dudes, right? And he said, no, I'm going to take care of this kid myself. So when he say this, I'm thinking myself, if I don't go outside, I'm jumped. So I told myself, in a reaction like this, you go outside, maybe you can calm the situation down. Maybe it doesn't have to be like this, because I wasn't even the one that was actually upset about the situation. I told her not to touch me. To me, I had no clue why a dude I never even seen is grabbing me and calling me outside.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How old was the lady? You're 24. How old was the cop?
You know, I'll be honest with you, almost 40 years old. I can't even tell you the exact age. I'm not gonna lie to you. I try not to think every day about it. It's something I try to move past. But when you have a good cause like yours, and I believe your show is an extremely good cause, I'm willing to go through it and bring it back up. So I can't tell you specific ages, because I honestly really didn't know that.
Well, no, yeah, that's understandable. But the reason I was asking you, because, you know, I think it's inappropriate for, you know, an older woman that's a cop to just walk up and grab you by the ass or do whatever she was doing, that obviously, you know, you react and say, hey, look, man, don't touch me, man. And then next thing you know, this big dude's out here talking he's going to take care of you. You go outside, and I don't know if you want to talk about that, but when you get outside, did the dude push you? Did he hit you? I mean,
it's a stance. He reached one arm to grab me, one arm behind his back because he told me to apologize. I refused to apologize for something I didn't do. I didn't do nothing wrong, so I'm not gonna apologize for someone coming after me. And we're all men in this world, right? So if I do something wrong and roles reversed, I will apologize. But I was completely sober. So I'm the only one in this situation that's sober. When you look at the blood alcohol level, which was taking so long after, which dwelled down, obviously, they both were still double over the legal limit. So you have two people that I believe that are so intoxicated that I have pictures, obviously, if you watch the episode on Court TV and stuff, of her sexually grabbing guys in the crotch and women in the crotch. I mean, they actually aired these pictures, right? So she's not used to somebody saying, I'm not attracted to you. Don't touch me this way. I don't know you. She's used to having authority as a police officer, never hear no, because in this career path, let's face it, if you're a cop, you're getting away with a lot up until these body cameras hit.
no, yeah, I understand that. So anyway, I did watch some of that episode from Court TV that you were on there, right? So there's 3 shots fired, right? She gets hit. The dude gets hit too, right?
There's 3 shots fired on him. A bullet went through his neck and actually hit her in the chest, which was a fatal shot to her. So he was shot 3 times, and a bullet went through him, which to this day it crushed him. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is something that's hard for me to live with, right? One, knowing that a female died, and even though the altercation was started by her, knowing that she died, and I didn't actually mean to turn the gun and shoot her. I mean, I have horrible PTSD. I have trouble sleeping. When you sit there and you dream every night and you're afraid to go to bed because you see their faces, no matter, I 100% will die knowing I had no choice. But I never turned the gun to shoot her. A bullet went through him, the one that was coming after me, and ended up hitting her.
Just a freak thing, man, that happened and affected your life, obviously affected her and her family, and it still affects you to this day. I mean, hey, I can understand, man, but honestly, man, I watched your story. I read a bunch of that stuff. I don't think you were wrong either. And you ended up getting sentenced to 10 years, right?
Yes, 10 years in, 10 years out. 2 counts homicide by negligent use of a firearm.
And I think even the judge knew that it really, man, it wasn't your fault, man. But I think in that position, maybe the judge felt like, he had to do something, right? Sometimes we don't always get justice in the justice system. You understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Of course.
Because justice would have sent you home, man. Real justice. But when
I agree. And this judge specifically is a female that was voted in all by the police department, okay? So this system is so corrupt, the prison system, and one of the victims' families has such power in this state. I was supposed to be released at 7.5 years. I was court ordered to be released for good behavior. And one of the families had found out about it. The high up prison official came to a court hearing to make sure that they gave me maximum time. They said I'm a danger to the community. But you know what's ironic about this? After they said that, they granted me work release. So they said that you should not release me in the community because I'm such a danger. But 6 months later, you put me in a work release facility to go out in the public and work.
And this is our justice system that's supposed to be the best in the world. Hey, I also watched the clip. Do you remember when they denied you bail? You had a $3 million bail or something like that. Something happened with the bail, right?
It was $1 million bail. And you know what? A lot of people don't understand. A lot of people say I was lunging at the victims' families. If I don't know the victim, how would I know the victims' families, right? No, I believe in freedom of speech. And I'm going to tell you this. If I think something is unjust, to this day, I'm going to speak about it. Just because you're a judge and you're going to tell me that this is what it is, and I disagree with you, I'm not going to sit here and say and bow down to you and say, listen, you're right, I'm going to pay the $1 million bond. Wisconsin isn't no 10% state. It's 100%. So you have to put 500,000 cash up, 500,000 property up, or $1 million straight up. It's not like Pennsylvania, we put 10% of this. So they wanted me to put a straight up $1 million, something that I could never even hit for a crime that is, in my mind, is self-defense. I wasn't some felon out here that was doing everything. I'm not gonna say I'm some innocent dude never been in a bar fight, because that'd be a lie. So I'm not gonna say that. I grew up in martial arts. I do know how to fight, and if someone comes after me, I'm not gonna let you hurt me. But I also am not a bully. I don't go out looking for trouble. So to me, to post $1 million on me for somebody physically coming after me, leaving the bar, pursuing me, which is showing intent. If roles were reversed and I would have left the bar, came bang after that, that's intentional homicide.
Oh, I understand it. What were you doing at that moment, though? That's what I want to know. Like, when it looked like you were lunging, people thought you were lunging at the family, maybe at the cops. You were just pissed off. What was going through your mind?
I would literally I just wanted them to know that it's bogus. Like, I just wanted them to know. So when I stand up, then you have these staff thinking, all right, let's charge and tase him. What I think is wrong. You want to tase me, that's fine. They tased me, it was like 14 seconds, okay? You're not even supposed to tase somebody that long. It's horrible for you, right? You could stop somebody's heart. But they had no problem doing that. They wanted the cameras to be shut off. And then what do you think happened after they tased me? You think nothing else happened when those doors closed?
Oh, I'm sure
no. Trust me, they got even with me very, very fast. So they felt that I embarrassed them because I wanted to speak my mind and say this is really, really unjust. And because I wanted to speak my mind, well, I'll tell you what, I got a lot worse than a tasing, I'll tell you that.
So you end up in prison, you got a 10-year sentence. The Wisconsin state prison system's a wild place, man. They had, wasn't there a cop that had sex with like 5 different prisoners or raped them and they got AIDS or something?
I was on the unit where dude was a CO at Fox Lake when I made it to medium. It's crazy. It blows my mind. He got a 35-year sentence. He was HIV positive, raped 5 inmates. He gave them all. I think they ended up settling with 100 and some thousand per inmate they gave him. They didn't release him early from prison for getting raped by staff. But what they did was they just wanted to pay him off to shut him up, and yet all of them caught HIV. So for people that are supposed to be there, and let's face it, the outside world thinks staff's there to protect you. You locked up. Staff don't give a shit. They really don't, and they ain't gonna protect you. Most of them COs, the only ones they protecting are sex offenders. Plain and simple. They give you a hate crime if you go after a sex offender, someone that's raping kids, raping women. But then you got somebody that's, a normal person that maybe had screwed up on small petty drug crimes. And then you have staff raping them? Are you kidding me? The weak are the ones that get eaten alive in prison. It's either you're gonna hold your head up high and you're gonna ride, or you're gonna let people ride on you. And that's the way the world is.
I hear you. Hey, so this dude's just raping dudes in prison? The cops just raping dudes?
I don't know I honestly don't know if it was consensual, non-consensual. I'll tell you this, he got a 35-year prison bit in the same prison that he was running. And he tested HIV positive. So all them dudes that the Wisconsin prison system wants to pay off, no one's there to protect them. When I first got in, like I said, I never been to prison. So I kept my mouth shut. I opened my eyes. It took a couple months for the first person to try to kill me. You look at my eye here, stitches, fractured skull, piece of bone in my eye, staples on the top of my head. I was in the kitchen. I was a bowl cook. You got a 4-foot tall metal paddle, solid metal that you cook with, you stir, right, to make the roux with, because I was a bowl cook for the 1,400 people that was in that prison. One simple word, I said one thing to somebody that they didn't like. I learned very quickly to keep your mouth shut. I turned my back, called my name. The moment I turned around, I got blasted in the head with a solid metal object 3 times right in my head. Guys, my witness, I was blessed, very, very blessed that it didn't knock me out. And I was able to take it from dude, and I was able to fight. You had multiple COs watch us batter each other. I mean, what screwed up, I ended up in the hospital, I'm not going to lie. He got the better of me with the metal object, but I walked out of there. They had to hold him up when he did.
Hey, I've been there, man. I had a dude stab me from behind. Dude, I took the knife and could have killed him, but instead I just beat the brakes off him. But, thank God he didn't hit me in the spine, dude. It was inches away from my spine. I could have been paralyzed or dead, still sitting in prison. So I'm grateful that I'm still here. I'm glad that, you ended up making it out of that. And honestly,
go ahead.
Honestly, bro, I'm glad that you pounded the dude out. Dude hit you in the face, man. I don't believe in sucker shit. You know what I mean? And in prison, man, you know, there really are no rules. You know, that's what people think, but men respect men, man. You got a problem, I got a problem, man. Let's handle it, man, and let the best man win. But people don't operate that way. You know what I'm saying?
No, I noticed in prison, I'm gonna be honest, I can't speak about every prison system. The prison system I was in, if you get a righteous dude, one that actually got hands, or maybe he doesn't, but he's not afraid to get beat up. So he's not gonna let you extort, rape him. You ain't going one-on-one. You're getting jumped. Plain and simple. Anyone that's willing to, I guarantee that you're gonna get caught. Because one-on-one don't really happen like that. I mean, when I worked in the kitchen, you had COs opening the cooler so we could fight. They watch you. They don't care. To them, it's enjoyment to watch two people beat the hell out of each other. They don't make a lot of money. To them. Why not? To the public, oh, someone gets stabbed up here, they get killed. Well, it's prison. What does it matter? They get to go home to their families. They don't care.
Hey, listen, man, people love boxing. People love UFC. So why wouldn't some guards want to see a couple convicts, you know, fighting each other? And especially in your situation, was there lashback because, you know, they felt like you killed a cop and, you know, like they wanted something bad to happen to you? Did you ever experience that where you were mistreated because of your crime?
Every joint I've been to, I remember me you go to a place called DCI. That's where they go to tell you what prison you go into, whether you're going to be high risk, low risk. Obviously, I got 2 homicides. I know I'm going to max. I already knew I'm going to the most violent max they have, which is Green Bay, where they send all the young kids that are gangbangers and got life sentences, right? So I already knew where they were sending me. I remember my first day there, my cell door pops open. They said, come up to the front. You got captains, COs there. You know what they said? They said, you deserve to get life in prison. We will make your life hell here. Man, you know what? I told him, I said, listen, I'm here to go home, man. I'm not here for any of this stuff. You know, I'm never going to try to portray that I was some angel of a kid that's, you know, never been in a fist fight, that wasn't going out drinking in bars. I was 22 years old, 24 when I caught this case. I apologize. I was 24 years old. I like to have fun, man. I'm a biker. And yeah, I'm a hardcore biker. I'm not going to say I'm not. So, you know, it's not like, you know, I've never been around nothing. I understand that. But this specific situation was something that I don't feel that I actually pursued. So then when I get put to these joints and everybody knows I had a high profile case. So you touch down, COs want a piece of you. Any inmate that knows that he's somebody and they put in my trial, obviously, I used to compete all over the United States in martial arts. You know, I won states twice, nationals, Grand Prix, was in Junior Olympics on the Pennsylvania team. So that's aired in your trial. So people already knew, all right, this kid, you know, he's a martial artist. So now we got guys that are from the streets. Now they want a piece of you immediately. They want to make their reputation bigger by taking off the new kid that just came in the block. You know, so obviously, you know, when you're new and you ain't from that city, I ain't from Wisconsin, you know, like I watch a lot of your show. You guys call it, you know, what car you in. You know what? To me, it's who you clicked up with. What are you riding under? You know what I mean? So you got a new kid that's not part of none of these organizations, that's a biker. And face it, bikers go to federal prison. In the state prison system, I ran across maybe 5 real-life bikers. I was a nobody on the street. I was a probate. I got locked up as a probate. And thank God, because one of the 40-some-year member ended up snitching on me. So I'm glad I never patched into this club, because to me, it's either loyalty or nothing. If you can't be loyal, don't be nothing to me, man. Don't even speak to me. So now you got me getting thrown in this situation. Man, I'm not going to lie, man. I was shocked. To me, it was you either going to bow down, let people extort you, let people beat you, rape you, or you going to just stand tall and it is what it is. And there's always somebody meaner, tougher than you, and somebody that is willing to kill you. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. I don't care how tough these kids think they are when they go in this prison system. You got guys that have 10, 15 stabbings under their belts. You got guys with 7, 8 bodies on the streets that are real life killers that have no problem when they got 7 life bits taking you out, because you're already a max. Where are they going to put you? They ain't got no other place. You got max and super max. That's it. They don't care.
That's what, and I want kids to understand that, man, because, you know, right now, man, we had 3 murders in my city, man. Back to back each day in broad daylight, man. And I'm sure some of these dudes are young dudes that are going around killing people, right? And they realize, hey, when you get to that prison, man, you check that gun in. You don't have a gun no more. Now it's just you. I mean, yeah, there's knives in there, there's steel pipes, and sometimes there's just dudes in there with hands that just destroy you, man. I've seen dudes beat to death when I was in Pollock in Louisiana, man. They told everyone, hey, don't take the bag lunch. You know, we're bucking the system, we're locked down. Dude took the bag lunch. When we came out, it was the white dudes, man. Came out and they beat the dude to death. The dude was getting ready to go home. Now he's probably got 25, 30 years. So people need to understand that prison is not a game. You know, these young kids are out here living this crazy, wild life. And look where they're going to end up, man. They could end up dead. Someone could be calling their mother to have to bury them. And, you know, even in your situation, man, you seem like you were a good kid, man. You wanted to have a little fun. You got some skills. You go to Wisconsin. You're welding. You're making good money. And you know, someone picks you. And unfortunately, man, they picked the wrong dude that day. Did both of them die? The dude and the chick died?
Yes, they did. They both died on the scene. So.
And hey, listen, man, I respect it. I understand, man, that you lived through PTSD. Trust me, you know, for the first, I mean, you said you watched my shows, so the first 6, 7 months, dude, I was sleeping with a knife. And then I graduated to just keeping a bat by the bed, and now I just keep the bat in the closet. Sometimes I hear things at night. I jump up. So I know that PTSD is real. I never thought, I used to think, man, dude's bugged out. When I seen people in prison that were a little touched, I'm like, dude's bugged out. I'll never be like that. But when you get out here and after you've been through the things that you've been through, you know, PTSD is real. It ain't just for dudes coming back from the military, because we've been in a war.
I agree. And the thing is like, people don't realize, like, for me, getting out of prison was harder than going in. Okay, I went into prison. I was shell-shocked. I come out, I don't know smartphones, didn't have no Facebook. Tried to get a job with 2 homicides, and one is killing a cop. Try to get a good paying job with that. You know what I mean? And what I love about your show is you're really, really trying to show the public the true stance on what the prison system is. You're trying to take kids that might be making the wrong decision. And I hope to God some of these viewers are watching this and maybe learn off of some of us that actually did a decent prison bit and realize that, yeah, maybe where you from, you have these old dudes doing 10, 15, 20 years. I know a bunch of guys I grew up with in and out of prison their whole life. And the way prison was explained to me, all right, you know, you have to do a prison bit, you do it, you come out, keep your head held high. They don't explain to you that, you know, you cry when you hug your mom the first time, that you afraid to go out to dinner. You know, I remember I come home, I live with my parents, you know, because I was forced to. It was either that or a halfway house because I did too much time. They said I had to live with family member, halfway house. I couldn't come back to Pennsylvania. I asked my mom for permission to have food. She said, you ain't got to ask permission. You know how stupid I felt? You know, getting out and saying, hey, can I eat this? You know what I mean? Waking up thinking it's count time. I woke up thinking it's count time, that you got to stand. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm on the streets now, and I'm thinking I'm still in the joint. And I only did 10 years. I can't imagine you did 17 or 18. I can't imagine how hard it is for you doing longer a bit than I did, because 10 years, I'm going to be honest with you, 10 years did a number on me. Seeing the people get beat, the stabbings, the rapes, you know, stuff you don't think about. Realizing I started looking at the facts, 60-some% of that prison system is sex offenders. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't speak to sex offenders. I didn't talk to sex offenders at a joint, and I had no respect for anybody that did.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. What are the white dudes like in Wisconsin State Prison? Are they soft? Are they tough? Are they, I mean, do they handle their business, or do they let people victimize them?
Well, you know, when you go to prison, you know, it's very race oriented. I'm gonna tell you that. I don't really speak too much about religion or race, but you go to prison being white, and you have a prison system that's maybe 5% white. Okay, you better be ready to rock. I'll tell you this. You better be ready to throw them hands, because you will be ganged up on and will try extorting you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they tried extorting me right when I got in there. I'm not gonna say which organization it was because it don't matter. But to me, like I told them, and I'm gonna be blunt with you, you're gonna have to kill me. You are not taking anything that's mine. You could jump me, beat me, but you better kill me, because you're not taking nothing that's mine. I've never been extorted. I've never been raped in there, and no one ever took my stuff. And I'm not the toughest guy at all. I'm not gonna say that. I met guys that I would never turn my back to in a joint, because I looked in their eyes and they crazy as hell. And they had so many stabbings under the belt that you said the one wrong thing to them, you'd be the next one getting stabbed in the back. But I also know that I'm a man, and you're not going to scare me. You're not going to sit here and say, well, you're all right, then prove it to me. Then you're going to have to prove it to me, because I'll tell you what, when the first person told me that if I didn't give this up, you're dead, I said, how are you going to kill me? I'm already dead inside. I look in the mirror every day, looking at myself. and I knew nothing was there. I had to put myself from being a calm, cool person, and I had to make myself into a savage, willing to do stuff that I would have never did before I went to prison to survive in prison. It's either you.
Hey, I want to stop you. I want to stop you for a minute. That's what I want people to hear. I want people to understand that. You had to do things and become someone that you really didn't want to be in order to survive. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, it's either that or you're not going to survive.
Hey, that's a jewel right there, because I tell people that all the time. And I used to tell people, because I had a 40-year sentence, I used to say, look, man, some of these, you're not willing to do what I'm willing to do. And sometimes, we'd had some white dudes that would get out of line and whatever, and I would tell them, hey, you're in an FCI, you're in a medium now. I used to tell them, you like it here? Because if not, we can leave. But like you said, you were willing to do things that normally you wouldn't. But that's because the environment that these people put you in. You're a 24-year-old kid, for real. You catch your charge, and now you're in here with killers. There's other 24-year-old dudes out there that, for real, some of them might feel like they're grown men, but mentally, maybe they're not. Because I went to prison at 24. And mentally and emotionally, I was still a kid, bro. Was I a tough kid? Yeah, of course I was. I mean, I'm from the slums, bro. And going in there, but mentally, I was still a kid. But was I ready to be in there with killers? No, but did I have to become that person? If I had to, I would. And I'm sure that's the same thing that you're talking about. And I want these young dudes watching right now that are 18, 19 years old. Are you willing to go that far? You might be out robbing someone and only get 8 years, but now you're in prison and you're in a position now where you have to kill this dude because he just stole your stuff. Because the image that you project is the image that you must protect. So I want them to hear that part, man. That's the part that I want to get through, man.
That's the thing is, if you let one person ride on you in prison and take your stuff, everybody's going to do it. So you cannot let one person ever take your stuff, because that person is going to tell everybody, and then bam, everybody thinks that you're going to be extorted. Let me tell you a story real quick. There was a dude getting ready to get out of prison. They were in the hole. You have one dude had 3 separate murders, 3 light bits. They're putting a kid that's getting ready to go home in a couple months in the cell with him. This dude told the COs, if you put him in the cell, I will kill him. I want to be by myself. They said, you're in the step unit. You have to learn to be in the cell. This dude beat this kid, raped this kid. The kid is brain dead, okay? His parents had to pull the plug on him. He's dead. Yeah, the guy didn't kill him. The guy made him brain dead. But his parents, he was never coming back from a coma. So his parents knowing his kid, he's a young kid. I mean, I forget his age, but I mean, even if he was in his 20s or 30s, it don't matter. The dude told the staff, you put him in here, I will kill him. He's got 3 life bits. You're putting a kid in here that was in a different prison that got in a fight and got put in max on a couple-year bit with someone that is a notorious killer. What'd he do? He proved he had nothing to lose. And I tell you what, I'm glad that family sued the state to get money, and money does not replace a person. It doesn't. But the people involved that allowed this, that forced this kid in the cell when the kid didn't want to go, and this dude said, I'm gonna kill him. You know what? He kept his word. And that's what even makes it worse to me, when you got guys sitting here telling staff like this is what's gonna happen. And staff just don't care. Okay, then do it. Well, then when it happens, yet the staff's not getting charged with this, right? To me, if you force someone in the cell when dude says, I'm going to kill him, that's like if you're on the streets and this dude, the cop said you have to do this, and he said, I'm going to kill you. And you actually go to do it, that cop obviously is allowing it.
The cop
and now this family doesn't have a child over a couple months left in prison because they didn't want to give him a separate cell. That's what these young kids don't realize. When you go to prison, you're going to be always with someone tougher, meaner, and someone that ain't got nothing to lose, because they got life bits, 20, 30 years, and they've lost their mentality. And let's face it, organizations run prison. Okay, you're new in there. Let's face it. Everybody knows you're new. You're going to be putting work in. That's a fact. Okay, so now you're new. You might come in with a 5-10 year bit. You might catch a light bit. You might catch another 20, 30 years in. I mean, you could go dolo. There's people that go in prison and they don't ride with nobody, and that's fine. And there's people that make it. But let's face it, the majority of the prison system is run by organizations, and that is just a fact.
That's it. I want to ask you this, right? So how long you been out?
I got out November 26th of 19.
Okay, and what are you doing now? Are you working? You got a job? Are you back to welding? What are you doing?
I'm blessed. I don't want to say the company I work with. I took a job as a janitor, okay? A shit job. I worked my way to be a supervisor for them. I put in for 5 jobs every week. I set myself goals. So every week I put in for 5 jobs. So I landed a job where I'm making about 90, 100 grand a year, which I made more before I went in. You know what I mean? I made more welding before I went in, but I work 12 days straight, 2 days off. I get 4 days off a month. I average 69 hours a week. With my books, I'm putting about 80, 90 hours a weekend just to survive.
So you're working, but I seen you were on vacation, so you're living your best life, though, because you're free, right?
You know what? Freedom feels great. You know, when you lock behind that cell, and I was in max locked up 23 hours, 20 minutes a day, you got 2 showers a week. That's all we got was 2 showers a week. You bird bathing it up. You know, I lived in a single cell most of my bit. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? I single celled it up because I don't want to live with nobody. So for me, spending most of my time there, I slowly got dropped down. I went from a max to a medium to a secure minimum to a work release. And you think that all these programs are going to help you, right? For me, the only program they allowed me to do is anger management. I volunteered to do BRIC program to help the youth. You know what they told me? They don't want the youth thinking that they could kill 2 people and do 10 years in prison, so they don't need my help. I volunteered to do like a CGIP to help with cognitive thinking. They told me, you don't have a criminal history, you don't need this. I tried doing schooling in prison. They said, you went to a technical school before you got here. We're giving you a no-fault termination of any vocational. If you want to go to do any kind of schooling, you could pay out of pocket. So I got no programming. I got no schooling because I was high profile and I killed a cop. So the prison system made sure they took everything. So I did dead time. So what I did with my time, I wrote 16 books. That's what I did with my time. Somebody I dated is actually an award-winning author. She's dozens of books. She has a lot more than I ever will. But for me, writing was a way to escape. I wrote poetry my whole life. Something I was embarrassed to tell people since school, because to me, you know, that's some pussy shit. You ain't got no dude that's fighting in the ring, writing some poetry and shit like that. But realistically, that's when I felt like I had no voice. Putting my pen to the paper was my voice. You know, I'm going to show you the first book I ever published in prison. You know, I wanted to take a book. A lot of people do erotic books in there. You know, that's a big thing in prison because we couldn't have porn. We didn't have no cable where I was at. So a lot of people complained about Penthouse. It was pretty much just white girls and, you know, a couple black dudes. I wanted to make an erotic book with every nationality in it. So it appealed to everybody, not just one race or one genre of what people think they want to read. So when I went to publish that, they told me you can't publish this. I looked up the law. That was the one statute I could do, but the way they do it in Wisconsin prison system, you have to get permission from security directors. Obviously, I was considered a gang member. They had that on my card because when I had caught my case, I was flying my colors. I was wearing my vest, bandanas, all that club stuff. So they considered that. So for me, they put more restrictions. So they told me, they said, you go to publish this book, you get locked up in the hole. You can't publish it. You know what I did? I made my parents power of attorney. I put my name, my picture on that book. I let them publish it under their name. I said, y'all want to play? Go ahead. I said, now I learned the law because I always had a lawyer throughout everything because I was fighting to get out of prison early. So when you look at the amount of money that it costs, I mean, I came out of debt, 89,000 in debt. That's what I came out of prison with, trying to get out of prison early. You know, you have wrongful death lawsuits. You don't just do prison time. You get sued and you got to pay out of pocket. So if you think that you're just going to sit here and catch a case and I have to pay a large amount of money out of pocket, you're mistaken. You're coming out of prison in debt. And you obviously know if you've ever been to work release, you pay a lot to live there. It's like 900 some bucks a month total.
I wasn't eligible for to go to the halfway house because they kept me longer than they were supposed to. But look, man, I'm gonna end the interview, right? If there's anything you want to say before we close, man, I want you to tell people, you know, where they can get your book, how they can contact you, whatever, man.
Yeah, I want to be able to show all my books. This is the newest one I published, Swag's Choice. I'm on the cover. My nickname's Swag. It's airbrush across my bike. Book before this is Satan's Choice. You know, I got 7 books published. I'm on my way. I'm going to make sure I get all 16. Do I make money? Absolutely not. I put more than I actually make. But you know what? One day I figure if you follow your dreams, one day you might make it. And that's my hopes, is to make a career that I could be proud of. I don't want to leave a legacy of this crime. When people hear my name, I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to help the youth to make sure that they don't go down this path and end up incarcerated and come out worse. My books are Satan's and Swag's choice. Choice means we have a choice in life. That's why you see a road on the cover of this. You're either going to take one road or you're going to take the other road. Which one are you going to take? One's going to lead you to a life of peace and happiness. One's going to lead you to prison. And that's a choice that you're going to make as a human being. And I want people to watch your show. And if they look at me, look and say, listen, this dude came out. He's trying to make it. But how hard did he fight to make it? Every night, I have a hard time sleeping because no matter what, I didn't go out to do this crime, but I still have to live with it. Knowing that their families are broken, the butterfly effect of what I did to the community, how the community views this is horrible. Something you're going to have to live with every day. If you're trying to make a name for yourself on the street and you think going to prison is going to matter, you got guys that have been there 30, 40 years that are not going to let you come in and think you're somebody. You're not going to come in and run that stuff because you ran something on the street. It doesn't happen like that. It really doesn't. You know, and I want them to really, really understand before you make that choice, think, am I willing to do the prison bit? Am I willing to put my mom and dad through the pain of what this is going to cause? Before we end this, I've never seen my dad cry ever in his life until I caught this case, you know, and it breaks me to this day that the only time I ever seen him cry was over me because I should have never put myself in a bar to where this could have happened. I will never go to a bar again. I don't want to be in bars. I don't drink. You know, what I do for fun is watch movies with my girl. I ride my motorcycle and I write poetry and books. That's what I do for fun. And I really hope that, you know, a lot of people can learn off a situation and realize that, you know what, prison ain't where it's at, man. You're going to come out worse than when you came in. You're going to fight. You're going to not be able to sleep. You're not going to have an easy way of getting a job. Try to fight to get a job. That's why the recidivism is so high, because people come out and no one gives them the opportunity to get a job. So what are they going to do? They're going to go right back to the streets.
For sure.
That's an easy way out, right? When you can't get a job, I put in for 5 jobs. It took me, about 9, 10 months to get a job that's paying like this. I was working 15, 16-hour days when I first got out of prison, working 2 jobs. Who wants to work 15, 16 hours a day? But I had to do it or I can pay no bills.
I do it every day, man.
So I want to thank you for letting me come on your show.
Yeah.
I appreciate what you're doing and how many people you are helping get out of prison. Honestly, you're an inspiration. I appreciate you. Not enough people do stuff for people on the inside, and you do. So I really want to thank you.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, man. I thank you. And you know something, man? This is the first time we actually talk face to face, right? And talking to you, man, I see that you're different than what my first perspective of you was, right? You're intelligent, man, articulate. It seems like you got compassion to help other people. You feel bad about what happened. I didn't expect that from you, man. So, you know, I appreciate you coming on the show. It's an honor for me to even have you, bro. So, and I know, I mean, look.
Serious, what'd you expect?
Hey, I thought you were just going to be this hardcore, you know, convict, like, yo, what's up, bro? I didn't really care. I laid these people down. And that's not who you are, man. And that's why it's so good to have you on the show, because kids can see the realness and they can relate to it, because guess what? Underneath every gangster, I believe there's compassion. There's good in everybody, man. And sometimes people are afraid to show it. They're embarrassed to show it. They don't want people to know that side. I tell people all the time, man, you know, I'm a good dude now, man, but I can be a gangster. That part can come out. I'm a gentleman, but if you push me, then that part will come out. And I can see that in you too. It's not that we want to be that guy, but we can be that guy. And, you know, I really appreciate you, man. I mean, you're on Court TV, dude, and I'm getting you on my channel, so it's a blessing for me, and to be able to bring your story, because your story is inspirational. It's bigger than just prison and violence and being a convict. It's about change. It's about acceptance, and I do, man. I appreciate you. So with that, I'm going to close the show, man. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. I want people to hit that subscribe button. Definitely check out my boy's books. I'll put a link on the video. Check him out, man. Good dude. Like he said, he don't make a whole lot of money, but support him. Support him because he's a good dude, and the books are good. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Hit that subscribe button. Until tomorrow, we're out.